the first thing I wanted to talk about was your use of Appalachia in a lot of your songs. What's the significance behind that?
Well, I just feel like, I did a lot of growing up there. So, I moved there when I was 12 and lived there for like 20 years. So I just feel like, the mountains and, being a part of that entire culture and being a part of everything. It was really kind of like life changing in a lot of ways. I consider it like one of my hometowns, but it definitely the land and the entire area has a lot of meaning for me. So I try to incorporate it in my music a lot. And what's really interesting is like no other rappers are really like representing that area, not too much. So I feel like I'm kind of one of the people that are early on representing it. But it has a lot of personal meaning to me.
Yeah. How do you feel about being deemed the nickname Appalachian Grabber?
The way I look at it, that bar is pretty innocent. It's kind of like mountain talk. It's like, hey, after you get done with your doctor's appointment, I'll come grab you and we'll go over here and eat something. Like the whole grab you thing is like an innocent bar, but people have really like kind of latched onto it and are having fun with it. And I'm totally okay with it. I mean, the way I look at it, it's like I tell people a lot, I'm an entertainer. So regardless of what's going on, I'm doing my job as long as people are being entertained.
Now, I'm going to go a little bit off topic from what we're talking about, but you recently posted a video about pushing through adversity in this industry while also being disabled. How would you say you've started to, overcome your struggles?
I was diagnosed with schizoaffective bipolar type, which is like schizophrenia and bipolar at the same time. I also have anxiety and PTSD. But some doctors believe I have like autism, but it hasn't been like officially diagnosed. But a lot of doctors are kind of like, yeah, we think you have that, and I have like a lot of the symptoms. Like I'll be stimming and rubbing my hands and doing all that stuff. It's like I'm pretty sure I got it, but I went to a specialist and they said they can't tell 100% either way. But to me, it's like if you're on the cusp of it, obviously something's going on. Being a person with disabilities, um, you know, I have a real responsibility in a lot of ways to, keep following my dream and keep the dream alive and keep going because you'd be shocked at like how many people have something going on mentally or you could say physically or people and I think a lot of the time people need to have the kind of hope that like even though I have this going on I can do something that's really cool. It's really important. That's an important part of my brand, and that's why I'm always very open about mental health. I'm always very open about it. I'll say, I have this, da da da. But excuse me, at the same time, I have to do disclaimers and say, like, this is not a substitute for mental health treatment, and I don't have a degree. But I just feel like, in a world where like everybody wants to limit everybody and put them in a box, I think, having somebody that is challenging what's normal, I think that's really important. I think, and that's one of the reasons, like whenever I get discouraged or like whatever it may be, I think about, man, like, there's a lot of people that are going through similar things that, what I'm saying, it's really important that I keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's super inspiring. And, like a lot of times when people do get diagnosed with it, they think, oh, since I have this, I probably can't do the things that I want to do. But, like, I like how your message is kind of like, yeah, you can do those things. It might be a little bit harder, but it just makes you stronger in the long run. And let's talk about your editing style. So, the way you edit your videos is a lot different than the way I've seen other artists promote their music. And I think that what you do is very smart because it's kind of like you have your hook, and then out of nowhere, like you wouldn't expect a lot of your things to be something that is promoting your sound. You know what I mean? What do you do to come up with inspiration to make these?
I basically am always searching for a funny video or something that's going to grab people because it's like a lot of people say they say that like my one song "Hey Girl" is like the new Rick roll or whatever. But living in a time where um the attention span is so low, and all of that, and people just want constant stimulant. It's kind of like you got to have something that's just gonna like crash out and be like a really really good thing to like, excuse me, but like grab like
Yeah,
grab them and get their attention, and then all of a sudden it's an advertisement for my song, like
it's like, okay, it's like other videos that are on their feed, and then they hear your song, and then they might think, like, wait, this is fire. Let me go
yeah.
listen to it. So I think that that's really smart.
And it's also really cool because even if they don't like it, if they're like, man, this song is ass or whatever, it's kind of like it still has their attention, and
Right.
they could be like, man, I got to go to that video and go to the comments and tell this guy how this sounds terrible, and then interact with all the other people that may think it's terrible, and that just makes the algorithm go crazy. So I get whether you come to troll or whether you come to enjoy it, really it helps out my brand. And that's why like I've always taken the stance that like if you come to laugh, let's laugh.
That's a good mindset to have. I know that with social media nowadays, it's kind of like, it's kind of hard when you have like maybe a few viral videos and the feedback is not what you were intending for it to be.
Yeah.
But it's good to realize that, the fact that people are feeling some type of way to go and comment, it just makes your video reach more people that might enjoy your music.
Yeah, exactly. I think, I mean a lot of people come to troll or goof off, but it's like it just helps me. It just helps me at the long run. I like to be a part of the fun. Like a lot of these haters, they just crack me up, man. Like they just are people making fun. It just like I mean, I don't even call them haters. I call them like laughing supporters or something. Like they're laughing supporters, like but yeah, man, I feel like, sometimes they get me cracked up. They just get me laughing and this and that.
Yeah. I know some of them are real creative with it. It's like, how could you not just laugh at it? Because
Yeah, it's
that's all you
pretty
can do.
oh, it's big time hilarious. Like they get me cracked up all the time. Sometimes I'll go in the comments just for the trolls and start laughing. And then I realize I'm like, other people are doing the same thing. They're trying to join in on the fun. So I don't know. It's just funny. And the other thing is like, while I'm grabbing these people, because right now it is Saturday, June 17th, 2026, and as of now, I have 50,000 followers. So it's kind of like, having people, following or this and that. It really comes down to me just being like, hey, regardless of why you're here, this is a welcoming community. Everybody, come on in. I try to tell everybody, like, regardless of like your sexual preferences or like what religion you are, you can, you can hang out with us. But I do say this though. I say like, look, man, like sexual preferences or something. If you hurt kids or hurt animals, man, don't rock with us.
Definitely.
Yeah. But other than that, everyone's welcome.
Yeah, that's great. It's good to have that community of people on your side. So, from my knowledge, you had a music video planned to release that contained some AI in it, and then decided to scratch it and redo it without using AI due to the feedback you received. What is your opinion on artificial intelligence impeding into the creative industry?
Well, like me as a musician, for instance, like when you have an AI band or an AI artist, and they're not real people, they're all that, and they have like a million monthly listeners or something, and it's creating thousands and thousands of dollars of revenue, um for somebody who just made an AI program. That really kind of is like, man, there's millions of real people that don't have that support, and it's kind of like there's this kind of it's like inauthentic or whatever. It's kind of like, you have people making this income, all totally fake, and then you have a lot of artists that are really struggling, and it's kind of like, where do we draw a line between, like, what is appropriate and what's not appropriate as far as AI and stuff. And a lot of people are like, oh well, why does it have to be, cut and dry or something, or whatever. But it's kind of like, you can support AI and support a real person, but at the end of the day, your time is a resource. So when you're giving time to listen to an AI band or something, you're giving your time. That time could be used on like a real person. So it's kind of like that, and I think a lot of people are like that in the art world too. Whether it's like drawing, painting, all that, like design, and all that. And the person that did the AI video is what is it, Polo, whatnot? But he's I respect what I mean. If you look at like what he's doing, if you step back and look at it, he's really talented at, creating AI and this and that. And I think he's really good at what he's doing. You just have to understand what he's doing. Like, you have to understand, like, this is AI, this is da da da. He's really talented at this, So I kind of was like, I definitely don't want to disrespect, the AI creator, but at the same time, everybody got really, really bent out of shape about it. And I saw it like, kind of as an opportunity to make a real video and engage with everybody and, have that fun time. So, yeah. And, I have a GoFundMe actually. I guess you can find it just by going to Google. It's like, type in "Hey Girl Music Video GoFundMe Noah Edge" or like whatever. Just key things to type into Google, and it should come up. Like, I was trying to raise like $3,000, for video expenses. And yeah, I know that may seem like kind of a lot for video, but I'm wanting to, fly out really, really good professional videographers that have a name and that have a big portfolio. So flying them out is going to be, depending on where they're coming from, five, six, seven, $800, whatever. Then I have to pay them if they're wanting to be paid at least like probably 1,000, and that's cheap. That's wishful thinking. Dang near, they probably want more, but anyway. So now you're up to like 2,000. Then I have to pay like the people that are acting, like the lady that's going to be the love interest to Hey Girl, and give them at least $200-300. Whoever else is there. Then you could say I could rent a nice car for like some of the footage. So I mean, $3,000, it adds up to 3,000 real fast.
Right. I think a lot of people don't realize how expensive it is to create something of good quality.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, truth be told, like, paying a videographer team that like has a lot of experience and are really good and have a portfolio, like, just that can be like 2,500, 5,000. Like, just really getting a professional team that's made a name. I mean, I mean, a lot of people will work with me. They'll be like, all right, well, he's disabled, this, and that. This will be advertisement for us and what we're doing if we attach ourselves to this video. And we kind of reach a happy medium or whatever with pricing. But it's kind of like, you gotta pay, you gotta pay people, what they deserve, or, what I'm saying, you gotta. So, I just really talk with them and try to work with them. But, at the end of the day, what I'm saying, I'm not really wealthy. I think, I don't know, man. I think, like I made a video the other day, like 2 days ago, right? And it's really saying that like social media is like smoke and mirrors. It's kind of like, everybody wants to say they're rich. Everybody wants to say they're on vacation every day. Everybody wants to say all these things, but it's like, you have to be realistic. Like, I'm not making a ton of money. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm disabled. I think you really have to understand that if you're like really, really authentic and platform where everybody's inauthentic, you really stand out. So, I think, being real and honest with people about like, I'm not big time wealthy. I'm not this. I'm not that. Like, I'm not making thousands of dollars a month off music. One of my songs got 15 million streams, and it was like, Facebook and Instagram streams, and they gave me $8. So, I think, people need to understand that.
Yeah, I know. I think people automatically assume that like once you get into like the tens of thousands of followers or like millions of views, you just automatically are like set when that's
Yeah.
not the case at all.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's really not the case. I mean, yeah, if I got a big brand deal or something, I mean, it'd be different. But I mean, it's like, which I'm definitely open for. But it's just kind of like, you have to be realistic. Like it's like a lot of people, like, Hey Girl got some radio play and they played on the radio sometimes, but it's like, or, played on the radio. And like, I think it got some radio play in Texas, but it's like, you have to really, really understand that it's like, you may hear the song on the radio, you may this, and this, but people think you got the money, but realistically it ain't even come in yet or something.
Let's talk about your new album coming out, The Slapmaster Volume 2. What would you say is sort of like the theme behind this album?
Oh well, the oh, you mean the Slapmaster VST too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, the Slapmaster VS, and it's really great you said that. Okay, it's really great you said that because, like I said, it is January 17th. So in February, the Slapmaster VST2 is coming out, and that's not music from me, and it's not an album. It's actually a virtual instrument created by Slapmaster, who's like, my main dude. Slapmaster makes all my beats. Slapmaster does like all the amazing stuff. He manages me. Slapmaster is like half of the whole deal. Like, I'm just one half of the deal. So he's obviously a producer making beats and stuff, but he makes virtual instruments, and he's making a VST2 virtual instruments for people making beats or doing other stuff.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why I thought it was like an
No, you're fine.
album.
Dude, it's all fine. Things get confusing all the time, but yeah. So yeah, buy that VST. Like, I got it early. I got the early bird version. Well, not a version. It's the early bird. So like, yeah, man, it is crazy awesome. But as far as projects, depending on when this goes out, I'm wanting to release a new song in a week or two. I think about calling it like Private Dancer or something. It's a really, really good song.